Starting my travel in Brussels. On my bag is the little castle, which was a small castle from the monarchy of Belgium. And it was a prison during the World War II, and now it hosts the refugees place. Here is where refugees from Africa and from the Middle East came, and it's pretty impressive because since Brussels is the capital of Europe, here a lot of immigrants want to came here to ask for political asylum. And as we're having a crisis in America with a lot of immigrants and a lot of people who's coming from South American countries, here in Europe they have a place where people who's being persecuted in their country are coming over here. It is pretty amazing to me that the Belgian monarchy and obviously the European Parliament are trying to do the best that they can for receive a lot of people which are being persecuted in their countries, to give them over here asylum. That is something that President Biden wants to address on his term. Hi guys, I just finished the European Parliament and I went to the Museum of Europe. It is pretty amazing because they show you all the history and the unification of Europe and the process that it has been done by too many years. It is pretty amazing. This is the fact that it teaches the history, the real history. So to many people this can be a little bit hard just because the fact that they touch some problems that Europe passes through. World War I, World War II, some genocides inside of Europe, like the Holocaust, and other small wars like that happened in the 90s, and it's pretty upset to many people because it might be too open and too cold to talk about it, but we all should learn about this because we don't want history to repeat. And obviously we know that Europe has that feeling of showing the truth and developing a strongest supranational feeling after obviously the problems arise after World War I, and that were the motives or were the causes for World War II. I'm pretty amazed that they have an exhibition, the gun of which started the World War I. They don't let us record or take a picture of it just because of the fact that they know that it produces a lot of conflicts on all of Europe. And I take the best from all the things that I see just because of the fact that they did a lot of emphasis in the differences between the capitalist, in this case the support of the United States over here to Europe, and they also showed the impact of communist, in this case the Soviet Union, and which causes after World War II the Cold War in between the United States and the Soviet Union. That it was not a direct conflict in between the US and the USSR, but it had a lot of influence on all Europe just because of the fact that it was too divided, and the Iron Curtain causes a lot of friction inside of Europe, and this is why the European Union had always progressive and reinvent itself to protect all European citizens, which includes countries that had joined to the European project basically since the first project of the European Union was after World War One. No, sorry, after World War II, and it finished it basically 10 years ago with joining on some other countries that were part of the Soviet Union. Today we're seeing that the Russian Federation, it's supposedly been creating this kind of conflict against the West, including Europe and obviously the United States. And I was pretty amazed that the whole European Union is standing for Ukraine, and obviously it has a lot of impact because Ukraine, it is the closest country to Russia. It is on its borders, and it was invaded first off on 2014 and last year by the Russian Federation. And obviously President Putin has taken wrong steps on trying to produce a change on the war status that we have right now, because the West And obviously the European Union and the United States have a lot of power international wide, and it is not just because the fact that US had the strongest army and the strongest economy. It is actually for the values that we represent as a democracy. And over here on the European Union, that's what I saw, that they stand for democracy and they believe in democracy, which in the other hand, the Russian Federation has shown in the last 30 years under Putin's almost 30 years under Putin's power that it is not a really democracy. As y'all can see, I found a flag of the European Union with Mexico because we have a trade agreement, but also I can say that I feel that the belief of democracy over here, it's bigger than the US, just because the fact that over here social movements had really helped to create better ways for having better life qualities. For example, over here, housing, health services, education, and many other things that had an impact, direct impact to the human, just because the fact that it creates happiness, security, and it brings prosperity. And that's the way that the European Union works. They try to work for the benefit of all European citizens, including all 27 members, state members. And it is pretty interesting to understand that they want to expand another power, as centuries ago the European countries were doing, or well, the European imperiums, with their colonies and their influence all around the world. They are trying to change that. Now they see the humanistic way, in which is so interesting because they are trying to act in a way that it might be critique, just because the fact that it's just too much political division on it, because they are trying to work for having a better life for everyone, as changing many things that put in risk of the life of the humans. For example, climatic change. They are trying to change poverty levels in Europe, because not even if countries of Europe are developed, it doesn't mean that Europe doesn't have poverty. They are trying to help immigrants, obviously providing asylum to people who has been persecuted in other countries. And it is pretty interesting to understand and comprehend the complexity of these issues, because our problems that are not just from Europe. On the US, we're having the same issues. Our Congress is taking some actions to change that, and it is amazing to see how the European Parliament, with its leaders, it's trying to help not use Europe. They understand that as they have a stable economy, they can help many other southern nations that don't have the same resources, or well, economic resources that Europe has. And I feel, honestly, I feel pretty impressed of the work that the whole European Union is doing to achieve these goals. If you all came to Europe, please come to Brussels, because you will understand the importance of this city, the importance of the European capital, the union, how it works, how it helps everyone, and how they try to help all of these citizens, not just countries that are bigger than the smaller countries. I'm amazed for this feeling of unification and solidarity with everyone. I feel like if all the countries around the world work together in a supranationalist movement like the European community or the European Union, we should all work together to fight the problems that as humans we have, like pandemics, like global crisis, economic crisis, poverty. I learned about the Europe it's working with other countries to prevent any further pandemics, and actually are working to bring clean water to countries that they don't have pure water to safely drink, which means that if we all work together for achieving these goals, we can all have a better life for everyone, not just for the developed countries. And it shows the unity over here that these actions actually are in force. So please come to Brussels, come enjoy the capital of Europe, and enjoy the European Museum and the European Parliament. Right now, I'm arriving to Athenaeum, which is another building created for a world innovation exposition. This building was created in the 60s, and it is a Belgium prideness, just because the fact that its structure is like so innovating for the years, and obviously for today, because it shows or it inspired innovation on architecture all around the world, because this building represents too many conflicts with gravity and many other things that you present when you're trying to build a building like this. Let me get my ticket and try to enter to this amazing building. Guys, last year in Italy, I was not able to use my student ID to have discounts because I'm not a citizen of Europe. But here in Belgium, if you have your student ID, you can get the tickets as a student. So don't forget to bring your student IDs and try to use it and save some money if you're a student. And if not, the prices are not expensive. For me, it was 8 euros with 50 cents. So please, if you can save some money, bring your student cards. Over there in the back, it is a nuclear plant power, which the French are really proud of it, and obviously the whole European Union. To many people, it might be a kind of complicated to talk because obviously the US and the Soviet Union on its time used the atomic power to use it in a bad way because obviously the US and the USSR and many other countries have atomic bombs, but this is something that is important to everyone because the technology developed with uranium and obviously the technology developed to create this kind of clean energy, it's amazing and it's a huge human achievement,